On your screens, you can see the image of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the ninth Guru of Sikhism. He is one of poise and meditation even as the execution took place ordered by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. He gave his life for faith and against the persecution and forced conversion of Hindus, especially Kashmiri Pandits during Aurangzeb's reign. For the sacrifice, he is celebrated as Hind Di Chadar, that is the shield of Hind. Today, November 25, 2025, is the 350th anniversary of the Sikh Guru's martyrdom. Let's take a dive into his great sacrifice. Hello and welcome to another episode of Deep Dive brought to you by NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Guru Tegh Bahadur was 54 when he sacrificed his life. That was after decades of meditation. And starting early on the battlefield, just like his father and sixth Guru, Guru Har Gobind, he was a warrior saint. In fact, the name Tegh Bahadur was given to him by Guru Har Gobind for the bravery displayed on the battlefield against the Mughal forces of Shah Jahan at Kartarpur. Born Tyagmal on the 1st of April 1621 in Amritsar, Tegh Bahadur was just 13 then. The warrior Tegh Bahadur was sought out as the ninth Guru in 1665, 44 years after the Battle of Kartarpur. That was after the death of Guru Har Krishan. And Tegh Bahadur was meditating at Bakala amidst claims by several people to lead the believers. Guru Tegh Bahadur was executed in 1675 in Delhi's Chandni Chowk on the order of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. As detailed in Trilochan Singh's Guru Tegh Bahadur, Prophet and Martyr, the events unfolded when Kashmiri Pandits, facing forced conversions and brutal oppression under the Mughal governor Iftikhar Khan, sought the Guru's intervention. Who were Kashmiri Pandits exactly? They were renowned for their learning and orthodoxy. When the Mughal emperor turned his eyes towards them, he encountered stiff resistance. During 49 years of his reign, Kashmir was administered by 14 governors. Iftikhar Khan was the most fanatic and bigoted of these. He ruled Kashmir from 1671 to 1675. He was using force ruthlessly to convert Pandits to Islam. Faced with an ultimatum, many of them began to flee Kashmir. Those who stayed back and refused to accept Islam were put to sword. Some Kashmiri Pandits met under the leadership of Pandit Kriparam of Matan and decided to go to the Swami Amarnath cave temple and invoke the mercy of Lord Shiva. At the holy cave temple, one of them saw Lord Shiva in a dream, who told him to go to Tegh Bahadur, the ninth Guru of Sikhs, and ask for help to save the Hindu religion. He spoke to his companions about the revelation and they all decided to appeal him. The experiment of wholesale conversion was first tried in Kashmir. The Kashmiri Pandits were well known for their scholarship, and converting them to Islam would encourage other Hindus to embrace Islam. Surrounded as they were with Muslim lands, they could be threatened with war and complete annihilation. The peaceful Kashmiris could not be expected to resist the Muslim military might. The emperor also felt that he might succeed in tempting the Brahmins from Kashmir into accepting Islam by promises of money and government appointments. There was piled up a heap of mourned and quarter of Jainis, which is sacred threads of the Hindus who had embraced Islam under the command of Iftikhar Khan. Many of the Brahmins who did not accept Islam under the threat of death managed to escape from Kashmir, and under the guidance of Kriparam, they reached the darbar of Guru Tegh Bahadur. On May 25, 1675, when 500 Brahmins from the valley, led by Pandit Kriparam, a Sanskrit teacher, and Gobind Rai, came to Anandpur to narrate their story of repression and woes to Guru Tegh Bahadur. The Guru was moved by their entreaties and told them that their problem could be solved only if some soul of truthfulness and integrity offered himself for sacrifice. His son Gobind Singh, who was at that time just 9 years old, said, "Who else can be more truthful and sublime than you? You alone can protect the Hindu religion. You alone are that graceful and sublime." Guru Tegh Bahadur was delighted to hear the brave words of his son. He told the Kashmiri Pandits, "Go and tell the emperor that if he could be able to convert the Guru to Islam, they would gladly follow him." This resolve of the Guru and his ultimate sacrifice brought tremendous change in the body politic of India, leading in turn to the establishment of the Khalsa by his brave son Guru Gobind Singh, the decline of the Mughal supremacy, and re-establishment of religious tolerance. The Guru, embodying the Sikh principle of defending the oppressed regardless of faith, prophesied his own sacrifice and set out from Anandpur. En route, he was arrested at Ropar by Mughal forces and imprisoned in Sirhind, later transferred to Delhi after 4 months of interrogation. There, Aurangzeb demanded he perform a miracle to prove his spiritual claims or convert to Islam. Guru Tegh Bahadur refused, declaring his faith unyielding. On November 11, 1675, Guru Tegh Bahadur attained martyrdom at Chandni Chowk, Delhi. Unmoved, the Guru sat meditating and was publicly beheaded with a single stroke by the executioner of Aurangzeb. Sikh sources, including Guru Gobind Singh's Pachita Natak, frame this as a deliberate sacrifice for religious freedom. protecting Hindus' right to practice their faith amidst Aurangzeb's jizya tax and iconoclastic policies. It's known as Gurdwara Seeskan Sahib. Three of the Guru's devotees, Bhai Mati Das, Bhai Sati Das and Bhai Dayala, had been tortured to death a day earlier on this very spot on which the Guru was martyred. Before these fearless followers of the Guru had their tryst with divinity, the Guru had blessed them and said, "All my blessings are with you, my noble disciples." What greater joy and pride can I have than the thoughts that my dearest disciples were with me? Guru Tegh Bahadur's martyrdom is an event of greatest importance in the evolution of the Indian ethos. Especially the history of Kashmiri Pandits. In a supreme sacrifice can be perceived the triumph of the eternal glory of the Indian spiritual tradition. Following in the fearless and undaunted spirit of his father, he passed over the legacy to Guru Gobind and served him with a strong foundation to provide a new unity and identity to the Sikhs. It was the sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur that inspired his son and the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, to establish the Khalsa Panth, preparing an army of saint soldiers ready to defend the faith. Joining us live is Utpal Kaul, Coordinator Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora. Utpal Kaul, Guru Tegh Bahadur's story is a story of sacrifice and a story how someone can stand up for those of other faiths too. And the way he stood up for the Hindu community, the Kashmiri Pandit community also, is a big lesson for all of us today.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. In human history, this is the greatest episode, greatest event of highest sacrifice anybody has given for human civilization. Kashmiri Pandits, early in the morning, start with the day of bowing their head to Guru Tegh Bahadur. Guru Tegh Bahadur, this story which you narrated, Kashmiri Pandits faced 700 years, what we call as generational genocide. But we kept our dharma and what you have seen in what happened in 1990. Kashmiri Pandits and Sikhs, they have very, very close relations. And I can say Sikhs and Kashmir. Guru Nanak Ji, he visited Kashmir, he went to Amarnath Ji, he went to Ladakh, and Guru Nanak Ji even visited Matan, which you just now mentioned, where from Kripa Ram Dutt was. So it was sixth Guru. He also visited Kashmir because one devotee, Mata Bagbari, meditated that I wanted to have the darshan of sixth Guru. And sixth Guru himself came from Anandpur Sahab to give darshan to Mata Bagbari. And when it was during the reign of Mughal governor Iftikhar Khan, it was a tremendous tragedy for Kashmiri Pandits. They were taxed their daughters, they were kidnapping them, and they were pressurizing them to get converted. So prominent Kashmiri Pandits were meeting secretly, and as you mentioned, they went to Amarnath, and it was to both to meditate at the feet of Lord Shiva, but at the same time plan how to go out of Kashmir and go to Anandpur Sahab and meet Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji and tell him what is happening to us. And then under the leadership of Kripa Ram Dutt, delegation went straight from Amarnath on foot from these hills and reached Punjab, and then narrated this story of genocide. If there would be some bigger name in English, I would use that, the tragedy which Kashmiri Pandits faced those years. And they thought about it, and then as 9-year son, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he was there, and
Yes.
he told him, yeah, somebody should sacrifice. And then he said, you are my father, you are the most
Absolutely.
respected, and you are the great person who can do it. And then it was a great thing to tell Kashmiri Pandits, go to Aurangzeb, go to Iftikhar Khan and tell him
Yes.
that our Guru is Guru Tegh Bahadur. If you
No,
will
this is a
convert
legendary story.
himself,
This is a legendary story, absolutely, Utpalji.
yeah.
Very quickly, I'd like to know your message to the countrymen on Shaheedi Diwas that you'd like to give. And also, one can't help but, wish that there had been a Guru Tegh Bahadur even in the 90s to prevent the Kashmiri Pandit exodus from Kashmir,
I
from
have
Jammu
to
and
tell
Kashmir.
Udayji, I have to tell you, 3 times Kashmiri Pandits went to Anandpur Sahab to give their shukrana. 5,000 Kashmiri Pandits marched from Delhi, from Chandigarh, from Jammu, from Mumbai to Anandpur Sahab. We did it 3 times. And last time was just before COVID. We went 3,000 people because Kashmiri Pandits are alive because of Guru Tegh Bahadur. Guru Tegh Bahadur is the soul of our community. And I may tell you that as he is not a soul of our community, he is the soul, he is the hero, his martyrdom will remain the greatest thing in our Hindu culture and in our civilization. That he didn't kill anyone. He sacrificed himself to give an example. And we now at this stage when world is in a different order, all Hindus, all Sanatanis have to come together for the dharma, for justice, for equality, and for nation.
Yes.
Today is very important day. Today is Sita Viva. Today is Guru Tegh Bahadur's day, and the flag of dharma was
Absolutely.
unrolled at Ram Janam Bhumi.
Yeah.
So the trump of dharma, trump of satya, and there will be a trump, the victory of
Yes.
truth will be always there.
My
Thank you
thanks
very
to
much.
you. My thanks to Utpalji for joining us with your perspective. Let's take a short break.